Hi, welcome to Easy Agent Studio. In this tutorial, we're going to be setting up our Gmail account. Let's go ahead and get started. So we've gone over and we created an account, a Google account over on Google. Set up an account called Easy Agent Studio Test. And the Gmail account is called Easy Agent Studio Test at gmail.com. Okay, once we set up our ID and go through the Google setup for that. We'll go to the home page and it takes us there. Now, what we need to do is we need to activate on that account. We want to go into security and sign in, and we want to ensure that we go through the two-step verification process. And basically what that was just to tell Google that they can go through our email or our phone number to send us a text message to do verification when we first sign into our email. It's just the first time in and everything. But the reason why we're doing this is so we can set up an application ID. And that's what we're going to use to read and to write our Gmail information within Easy Agent Studio. So once we do that, then we're going to go over to, you can see that we've got my account, google.com security. We're going to come over here and we're going to type in, we're going to type in app passwords. App passwords. We're going to hit enter. And now that we can see that we've got that, we're going to enter in our password. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right. And now we're going to show our, we're going to create I created one. I'm going to delete that one. So I created that one. So now I'm going to create a brand new one. Once we come over here, I'm going to create the app name, and I'm going to call this Easy Agent Test. And that's just going to be created. And then I'm going to do create, and it's going to create that password, the application password. And I'm going to copy that. Just going to highlight it, copy it, and I'm going to go over to my notepad and paste it. And I'm just going to paste it right there. Okay. Now I'm done with that. So I'm going to do done. I've got it set up. I've got it added, and I'm going to just minimize the web page, and I'm going to go over to Easy Agent Studio, and I'm going to come over and open up my Gmail Reader app, and that's on the C drive. Make sure that it's on the C drive. We did this in our previous tutorial. So when we set up SQL Express, so now I'm going to go into setup, and I'm going to add that to our setup. So I'm going to come into setup, and I'm going to put Easy Agent Studio Test at gmail.com. That's our email ID. And then the app one, I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to collapse those spaces. We don't want any of the spaces there. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to copy that over into our app ID, which we're going to call our API key for this. And we're going to go into the app, and there's our API key, and we're going to do paste. Now we're going to hit OK, and that's it. We're set up. So I'm going to go ahead and close that and load it again. I'm going to clear requests. I'm going to clear the schedule, and I'm going to clear the events. Now, as far as the Gmail Reader, we should be set up ready to go. So in order to test that, we're going to come over here and we're going to go over to our email. We went ahead and signed into our Gmail account, which is our test account, and we're going to come over and we're going to do a compose. And you can see that the message says from Easy Agent. So we're going to send it to ourselves. We're just going to type in that ID, Easy Agent Studio Test. And the subject is, we're going to just put reminder. And the reminder is going to be, we'll just say, can you remind me next Tuesday at 3 p.m. to take out the trash. And that's all I need to do. Now I'm going to hit send. So now that one has been sent. You can see that it's been sent to our account. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. And I'm going to just hit the start button on the Gmail reader to make sure that it reads that information. Now what's going to happen is when I run this, and because I've got the access set up, and here we're going to go in and make sure that we've added this person in. So I'm going to delete this and start all over again. We're going to put the delete function in there later, but when we add this, I just put test1, then the first name, Easy Agent, the email address is that email address, and then the phone number was just not. So I've added myself to that, to the process. So we didn't code for the delete yet. We're going to do that in another tutorial to finish this up. But we just wanted to have a starter app to do that with. So once we put that in, then all we got to do is just hit our start button. And what's going to happen is every minute, the Gmail reader is going to go out to Google. It's going to check the email, and any email that was sent by that Access user will be captured into this process and put into the database tables. And we'll show you that. So we're just going to wait just a minute, let that process. And as we're doing that, we're going to be interfacing the setup for that as we go forward. And we're going to do the event viewer, which is going to read that data in the database table and then send an email back out to us when that occurrence elapses, basically. And we have a counter. You can see up here it says started. We have the counter at 0. Every 60 seconds, it's going to read Gmail. And here it's count 1. And you can see that it was successful. That API key worked. And you could see that we now have data inside of our email. So if I come over here and I add another email, so I come over here and I just say I want to compose another one, and I say to Easy Agent Studio. This time I'm going to put Jarvis in there. And I'm going to just put Jarvis, and I'm going to say, can you give me the colors of the rainbow? And then I'm just going to hit send. And see, I still have this running in the background. So every minute it's going to reread. So as you're on your mobile phone, your Gmail account, or if you're on Outlook, or if you're on Yahoo, or whatever you use for your mobile email, you can send to this email address. And in the background, this is going to pick this data up and it's going to process. Now we've just called 2 agents. And you can see that we have one agent, which is called reminder. Remember, we talked about where that goes. In the email itself, the information, the subject is the agent you want to talk to. So we made it really easy in the email handler, is that we want to make the subject matter is the agent name, and then the content is what you want the agent to do. So it gives us the ability to do that. So once we do that, now we've got 2 actions in here, and we have 2 processes that need to occur. And you can see that as we go through this, in our next tutorial, we're going to set up Jarvis to send back an email to us. And that's going to be on our next tutorial, where it's going to call out, because Jarvis isn't a reminder. It's going to take action immediately, call the agent, do what it needs to do up against the LLM, and then brings back the information to process. And we're going to show you how to do this. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit the stop button. We're going to go into our database. So I'm going to come back over to our database real quick. And I'm going to look and make sure that we are looking at the data that's coming from the Gmail system itself and how that is appropriately configured for each table. Again, don't get caught up in the technical. part of working with LLMs and the traditional databases and things that we're having to interface with, like SQL Server or another database repository, because that's something that we're going to make sure that that's an easy interface for you. Like this, when we built these tables, this was pretty quick. So I'm just going to come over here to Gmail Reader. I'm going to do new query, and it's going to create a area here for me to work in. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, let's look at the schedule. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at the schedule or the request. I'll do the request first. So I'm going to do select star from Gmail requests. And this should be, if I'm saying it right, it should be all the requests that are coming in through that email. And you can see that it filled the email item 1 is the Gmail that sent it, which was us. The item 2 is the agent. Item 3 is the date time that it was sent, that we picked it up. And then item 4 is the actual question. You can see the question. We have 2 questions. Can you remind me next Tuesday? And then we have what we call a unique ID. And we're going to use that unique ID. And then we have whether it's been completed or not. So neither one of these have been completed, so they're still in queue. And then you can see that over here we've got the next one, which is going to be the requests, the schedule. So the schedule will be the next one from Gmail schedule. And we may not have but one item in that one. And we have no items in that one because it hasn't scheduled it yet. And then we've got the event. So I'm going to do select star from Gmail events. Let's see what we got for that. And you can see we have nothing there. So we haven't set up the event handler yet. We're going to do that later on. But for right now, we've got the Gmail reader reading, and we've got it all putting in the Gmail requests coming into our database. So every one we add, it'll be added there. If we go out to Gmail and add another one, we can do that. And just come in and have those in queue. And we're going to show you in our next tutorial how we'll interface with Jarvis. We're going to set Jarvis up as the first agent that communicates immediately with the Gmail reader to process through email. But that's it for this tutorial. Hope that worked out for you. We did set up Gmail account. Again, on your Gmail account, you need to make sure you've got that 2-factor verification process in there. That is important. And then we're going to do an app password. It just makes it easier to do it this way, and it handles it really well. And you can see that if you want to use another email to send, like Outlook, or if let's say your work is Microsoft Outlook, you can set up your Microsoft Outlook to work with this, not a problem. But for what we're doing, Gmail is the recipient. It's always going to be, we're going to be handling those accounts through Gmail and not through any other account. Because if you look at what we did, if we come back over and we come back over to our Gmail handler, what we did is we went in and we compiled the script that had the C# in there. So if I go over to script and I go into the script manager, you can see that we created an exe called read Gmail exe. It gets folded into your Gmail reader folder. So, and what we've done is this is code that's already in your path. So, and we didn't have to make any changes to it. It's automatically in there. So let's say that I go out into my folder and I go over to my C drive and I go into Gmail Reader. You can see that read Gmail. I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to just get rid of that. That's a console C# application that the Gmail Reader calls every time it reads Gmail. So then I'm going to come back over to my C# code, which is already part of the project. We didn't write any of this code. It was already pre-written for us. And I'm just going to compile it right here using my current version of .NET on my desktop. So I don't need to reinstall .NET or framework or anything. It's already there. I just chose it, and now I'm going to compile it. And it compiles it, and it's done. So all of this code you can look through and learn about and read how we configured it to read the Gmail account using SMTP. And what we did is we did some custom. We have some custom information in there that works through that. You don't have to mess with it, but just you can learn about it. But if you go back over to that folder, you can see that Read Gmail console app is back in queue. And then if we wanted to go in and verify and test that, then all we have to do is go back over to our Gmail, go over, do another compose, and say easy agent test. We'll do Jarvis again. We'll say Jarvis. And the question's going to be, when did baseball first happen? I'll just say happen. I don't have to be too clear on that. So I'll just hit that. Now Jarvis. So that's already in queue. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my project, and I'm just going to run it. And you can see that I've already got those two in there. So now I'm just going to start the reader again. And here in another minute, it's going to go out and reread all of those, and it's going to add that last one we just added. So we've got those two happening at the same time, and those are in queue. When we go to Jarvis in our next tutorial, we're going to set up Jarvis to respond to us immediately into our email. So we'll get a response back from that and go from there. But right now, let's just verify this, make sure we're good. Again, a little bit of time on this. And pre-compiling this for you, building out the IDE in these projects, there's no token consumption at this point. You're not using any tokens to run this because we've not talked to the LLM yet. All of this is token free. So it's gives you the ability to build out your application, do your rebuilds, and you can see that here's your new one that we did. You can see when did baseball first happen. Now that's in queue, so now we have 3 in queue. And we're going to go ahead and process these coming back out when we build the Jarvis app, because this is going to call out to the Jarvis agent. The agent's going to execute and pick up this information, execute it, complete it, and set the database table, and we'll show you how that works in our next tutorial. But that's it for this tutorial. You've successfully set up your Gmail account. Your Gmail reader is now active and working. All we have to do now is add the agents to it. That's it for this one. Look forward to our next one when we're working with Jarvis. Thanks and have a great day.